What's going on the Winners Win podcast? Your boy Loso 2.0, the copycat himself. And today we're going to talk about description, really. So before we get into that, though, I want you guys to do some housekeeping things. Click that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube right under here, and subscribe to the Winners Win podcast and page. And like this video, share it. Do whatever you gotta do. Comment below as well. And if you're listening to this on any type of podcast platform, 5-star reviews, and leave a review below because I love to read your reviews and see how I can help myself get better, really. So, before we get started and all that stuff, I like to give you guys updates. So right now, I'm doing a little quick episode real quick. Not really quick, but you know how I do. My episodes are usually 10 minutes or so. You can listen to it in the car on the way to work. You can listen to it in between, walk-ins or whatever, while you're doing your walks, whatever you do, however you listen to it in the morning. And right now, I'm just getting one done before I go, head off to this, head off to this Christmas party that I'm going to, with some coworkers and stuff like that. So it should be fun. So that's pretty much what I'm going to, right? So it's pretty, fun and stuff like that to do that as well. It's always good, especially around the holidays, to hang around people you enjoy being around. I see them more as coworkers now, more as like friends, majority of them. So it's good to be around friends and family, not just during the holidays, but all of the time, right? Because a lot of times we all are going through things. We're over here, we feel like we're alone through things, and it's just like talking to them actually helps you feel better, right? It feels like you're put into some type of better space when you can actually talk to someone about some of the problems that you're going through. So it's really good to, like I said, to do that stuff. So that's what I'm, doing tonight, right? Before leading up to the holiday season, before stuff. But I did do some Christmas shopping yesterday. Like I think I told you guys in my last episode, my knees hurting, back was hurting, legs. Like I was tore up after going Christmas shopping. Got some gifts, got some for my father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother, sister. Now I just got to get some stuff for the nephews, and my other sisters and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got left to do. Now, if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's okay. I really should be celebrating myself as well. But I don't know. I kind of get caught up in it and stuff like that. It's actually my favorite holiday, even though I shouldn't be celebrating. I do apologize for that. And I can get into that. That's a whole nother topic as well. But I do love, the holidays and stuff and being around family and friends and things like that. So that is also something that's good. And speaking of that as well, one more week, basically, because once this week's over, you got one more week till the new year. So I want to know how you're going to be spending your 2023. What type of goals do you have set? I know I already have mine set that I'm going to do for 2023. What are your goals that you have set for 2023? Are you going to sit back and have it just like 2022? Do you have all these massive goals that you want to complete? Are you going to complete them? How are you going to give more value this year than you ever done before? Listen, man, that's all I'm saying. You really want to try to see 2020, like I said, 2023. How are you going to be different than you were last year? Now, I know I hate New Year's resolutions because people usually don't get them done. But for this New Year's resolution, how can this one be different than your last? I don't even think I made a really big one last year. I don't think I made a really big one last year. But this year, I do want to make a big one. But when I do make them, something always good happens, because when you speak stuff into the universe, it always finds a way to come back to you. It's just the way it is. I don't know why it works. Like I said, remember I told you guys this. I told you guys this before. E.T. said it before. You watch my podcast for a long time. You know this. Winners find a way to win no matter what. And that's why this podcast is Winners Win Podcast, because we find a way to win regardless of what happens in life. We have things hit us hard. It's funny, me and my brother were just talking about this. Stuff always hits us. It's not like we sit back, we complain, we don't get rattled. We just think about, okay, I'm going to figure it out. Which way can we get to the solution? And life is going to try. God is going to try you. He's going to send those stuff to you. Bing, bing, bing. He's trying to toughen you up. He's trying to see how strong you are. Are you a strong soldier? Are you a weakest soldier? That's something that you have to decide. And this year is going to be your year. This year is going to be your year. It's going to be my year. So I know it's going to be your year to just win. Winners win. So I'm going to talk about description. Now, description in speech, in public speech, the public speaking comes after the exposition. Now, the difference between the two is exposition is generally kind of explaining. Remember, I said no things unturned, right? Because a confused mind doesn't buy. And even in the selling process that I was talking to you guys, right, about the education step comes after you recommend, right? But when you educate them, you have to make sure to be descriptive. Now, the thing is, you don't want to do this too much. Now, I see a lot of salespeople do this. Salespeople, so I know it's good with speaking. They're all the same skill, really, honestly. I'm trying to tell you. Persuading others to take an action. I see this happen all the time. They tell too much. You talk too much. There's such a thing as overeducating your guest, your client, your customer, your audience. There's such a thing as doing that. Too much description actually loses its power. Now, you do want, like I said, at first, it's kind of like that front face value, right? The basic thing that they're going to get, right? Making it simple as possible. Then after that is following up with the description of that thing, right? Well, the exposition, which is general, that's kind of the exposition. And really, it's just a general explaining what it is. And the description kind of goes in detail, right? Now, when I go to description, there's 6 methods of description, right? So there's mainly by suggestion. So that is, from what I'm understanding, is like when someone suggests, like, you know what I mean? When they ask a question, okay, cool. I got the answer to that question. You have a question? Here, any questions I can answer. So when someone asks you a question, you literally describe whatever their question is. You answer it back. So that's by suggesting, someone suggesting an answer. 2, by a simple hint. You can give someone a simple hint into certain things, right? Like this is kind of what I was talking about with the exposition thing, right? Like when I sell something to somebody, I give them the overall thing of it. And I'm just like, okay, and this is it, and this is this. So you can describe by simple hint. You can describe by its effect. So how does it affect a person, right? Remember, there's features and there's benefits. Features are what the product or service does. Benefits are what the product or service does for you or for the client or the customer or the guest or whatever, right? Or the audience. So you can describe something by its effect. How does it affect you? Oh, this thing helps you do this. This thing helps you do that. Like that's by the effects. Another one is by epithet. Now, epithet, I did not know what that meant at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm still a little bit confused by it, but an example of it is blue-eyed. So you can say round-eared, long-legged. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like putting that thing with the little hyphen, then putting another, I mean? So you're trying to describe something kind of like in one word, kind of putting it into one word, and that's kind of an epithet. So that's one way to do it. One is by a figure of speech. So it's like this thing, right? When I think an example is the Titanic. When Leonardo DiCaprio, you know what I mean, rest in peace in that movie, he fell off the board and stuff, but they were saying like, when you fall into that water that the Titanic was going through, I think it was like at the Antarctic, near Antarctica, I don't know. They said it feels like 1,000 knives stab you in the back. I just did an episode on death by 1,000 fees. Now, fees are not going to kill you, but it's another example, like, hey, like this is just, they're constantly annoying, they're constantly doing it, and then it kills you or kills you financially by literally all these fees kind of racking up. So that's a figure of speech. And then number 6 is direct and brief. This is what it does. Just being brief about it, right? Now, direct about it, so this is what it's going to do specifically for you, but also, too, being brief. Like I said, you talk too much description makes something lose its power. Right? A confused mind doesn't buy. I told you guys that again. A confused mind does not buy. So if you're going to confuse your audience, you might as well decide on another thing to do. They're not going to buy it from you. So these are different methods of description when you're doing speech. But I love the fact about this public speaking book is that it's just a skill. It's persuading others to take an action, so it can be put in different aspects of life. And this is what this channel is about, teaching you some of the most powerful high income skills in the world in order to help you achieve in 1 year what it takes most to achieve in 3 to 4 years. Performance coaching. We are going to build our own Wall Street, I'm telling you guys, and I already got some ideas for you guys. So that's really all I have for you guys today. Thank you. I really appreciate you for all watching my videos. I want you guys to keep killing the day, and to remember, you pray for success like this. 2.0 out.